All righty. Welcome to Replenish the Atmosphere of Discovery, where we discover the Master's Plan. We are on Volume 3. The session for today is on managing discouragement. Okay, so discouragement is the feeling of losing hope, confidence, or determination. Okay, and discouragement starts with misguided, unmanaged thoughts and feelings. Discouragement starts with misguided, unmanaged thoughts and feelings. Okay. Losing confidence or hope means you had hope or confidence in something and then you lost it. Okay. That confidence is a feeling of certainty, of trust that you lose when your thoughts and feelings are constantly unmanaged or misguided. Okay. And so hopelessness can be a safe place for some people, right? Because they find comfort in not having any expectations, right? So they feel like they have nothing to lose. If they don't have anything to lose, then they are in a safe place. So sometimes that hopelessness can become a safe place, right? You can lose confidence or trust in something or someone by what you feel or think. That's why we have to manage our thoughts. We have to guide our thoughts. We have to tell our thoughts where to go, right? And our feelings as well. So, those feelings that you have that are based on facts are used to redirect people's access to you or your access to them. So, when you are discouraged based on the facts, right? Then you use that to redirect someone's level of access to you or something's level of access to you or your level of access to it, right? But when your discouragement is based on opinions, misinformation, or misunderstandings, then it is counterfeit, okay? It's a false feeling. And it's up to you to put those feelings and to put those thoughts in check, right? Put them where they belong. If it's just an opinion or a misunderstanding or misinformation, you don't need to keep that. And it's okay to trash those thoughts and feelings that are not accurate. Okay. If they're based on lies, let them go. And a lot of times we don't want to let feelings go because we stayed up all night, right? Coming up with the how and the why this person did XYZ, right? We come up with a whole scenario in our head of why, when, and how they did it. So because you wasted your whole entire night on a lie, you want to hold on to something to make up for that wasted time, right? You don't want to let that feeling go. You don't want to let that anger go. You know that it wasn't the truth, but you don't want to let it go because you wasted so much time creating this scenario, creating this feeling, right? And so you just mixed what you knew with a bunch of lies to make it make sense in your brain, and it led to fake feelings. Okay? Drop it. You can drop it, or you can go write a novel about it and make some money off of it, right? Don't hold on to those feelings and those thoughts that are based on lies. Okay. So, how do you know when you are feeling discouraged? A lot of times you feel drained, right? Because your body is going through all of these stresses and these emotions. You feel discouraged, right? You have low energy. You might have low tolerance or patience for anything that causes you to grow or heal. You don't want to hear about it because you're already discouraged. You might no longer have interest in setting goals, achieving goals. You don't even want to enjoy what you've already accomplished, right? Because you've become discouraged. You may be discouraged if you're sleeping but not resting. And some of you are not even sleeping at all. If you are having a constant negative outlook on life, even about the most positive things, you may be experiencing feelings of discouragement. You've gotten a new car, right? But you can't rejoice about the new car or the good that it brings, right? Because, oh, gas prices are so high, right? Oh, I got to pay insurance, right? You're only saying the negative things instead of the positive. When your feelings and thoughts are not regulated, you can start losing confidence and trust in many people, systems, and logical truths, even God. When your feelings and thoughts are not regulated, you can start losing confidence and trust in many people, systems, and logical truths, even God. Discouragement comes before unbelief. It's very important that we know that as believers. Discouragement comes before the unbelief. So if you are discouraged, your beliefs will be challenged immediately after, right? You will doubt, and doubt is not unbelief. Doubt is when you question your beliefs, right? But unbelief is your refusal to believe. Okay. And so that's why you need to manage what you're thinking and what you're feeling, because it begins to challenge your belief systems, right? Discouragement also causes you to lose that determination and will that you had for completion. Some of you may have heard of delay, right? It comes to stop you from completing things. And it doesn't start with like a major thing. It starts with little things like you didn't finish washing the dishes. Um, you didn't finish putting the clothes up. It starts very, very little. And before long, if you don't manage your feelings and thoughts, it will go on to bigger things, right? You stop making commitments and decisions, right? And it begin to affect your goals. Okay. You stop deciding to stand for anything. And then you stop doing anything about it. You need the power of your will to remain determined. And anything that affects your willpower is a problem, right? Sometimes it's your own thoughts and feelings. Sometimes it's what other people are saying and doing to you. Extended disappointments leads to discouragement. When you are constantly being disappointed for extended periods of time, it can lead to discouragement. Okay. And if you are constantly discouraged and disappointed, you can become depressed, frustrated, and bitter, right? A lot of that frustration is coming from not meeting the expectation that you've placed on yourself, and also the expectations that other people have placed on you. That's where frustration normally comes from, okay? Those disappointing and discouraging thoughts build until you cannot take the frustration and you begin to feel incapable of anything, right? So you just stop everything, right? When you become frustrated, you just feel like I can't do nothing, right? Frustration is rooted in what you are able or not able to do. Okay. Frustration is rooted in what you are able or not able to do. So if you're not able to get someone to understand what you're saying, you become frustrated, right? If you're not able to do what you feel like you should be doing, you become frustrated, right? Frustration is rooted in your ability to do or not do something, okay? You do not have to allow your inabilities to become disabilities. And what I mean by that, if it's something that you cannot do, you don't allow it to get to the point where it affects your mental capacity. Okay, well, it begins to stress you out to the point where you cannot think of how to do normal activities during your everyday. Okay, use that frustration, use it to build relationships with people that can do what you're not able to do. Okay, take some of those expectations off of yourself and give them to people who are capable. Okay, and that'll help you get rid of some of that frustration, which causes the discouragement. Okay, sometimes we want to do everything. We cannot do everything. The only one who can do everything is God. And we have a portion of Him in us, right? So we cannot do everything. Instead of allowing the expectations you have on yourself and the expectations that others have placed on you, instead of allowing that to frustrate you, give it to some people that's capable. Okay, it's perfectly fine. It's okay. Setbacks also cause a lot of us to feel discouraged, right? But difficulty builds character if you use it right. If you're over, I'd say if you've already graduated high school, you know this to be true. Okay. Difficulty will build character if you use it right. Okay. It exercises the purpose in all of us to rely on God, to rely on each other and our determination. Okay. If you use a failure or a setback as a part of your growing process, you gain experience and knowledge that you may not have gotten had you not gone through that. Okay. Had you not had that setback, had you not failed, you wouldn't have the experience that you need. right? For what's coming up next, okay? Some stuff you have to go through it, not around it, right? Not on top of it. Some stuff you have to go through it in order to obtain what is needed, okay? And we can't get around that, okay? Painful memories. Painful memories bring about discouragement, okay? You cannot ignore when these things are triggered. We get really good at ignoring stuff, but it's not going away. It's going somewhere in you. You can't see it, but it's going to manifest. Okay. You cannot ignore when these things are triggered. You have to start addressing those unwanted thoughts and those unwanted feelings. Okay. When those thoughts are misguided and left unmanaged, you will continue to be discouraged. Okay. You should talk to somebody, pray with somebody. Okay. If it's something that you could have achieved on your own, it would have been done. Like, let's be honest. If you could have gotten over that or gotten through that yourself, you would have been gotten through it, right? Your inability to get over something or through something is causing your frustration. So give it to somebody who can help, right? Go to someone who can listen because our brain is a very powerful computer. Sometimes just talking, we can figure it out. Just talking it out, we can figure it out on our own, right? Any distressing experience in your life can cause your brain to recall that moment at random times, right? This is what happens with painful memories and traumatic experiences, right? What it means is that it's a psychological wound that needs to be repaired in order for you to function properly. Okay? It needs to be repaired. Trauma is stored in our minds as visual images, right? And sensory fragments. So what happens is any of your five senses can pick up on something that triggers your brain to recall that moment. Okay. And if you know somebody who is dealing with something like that, that has been traumatized, do not take it lightly. It is not your job to tell them what traumatized them or what experience they had, right? If they are willing, get them help. Don't re-traumatize them by being ignorant to the fact that they are not in the position to repair their memory or regulate their triggers by themselves, right? And if somebody is, like I said, if someone close to you is experiencing this, then you're going to have to exercise patience. If you're going to be a part of their healing process, you're going to have to exercise patience. And I'm saying patience, but really you need all the fruits of the spirit, right? And if you don't have the fruits of the spirit, stop trying to talk to people, right? Just listen. Okay. These are things that you need in order to help someone come out of that. So if you don't have it or you refuse to get it, just listen. Lack of support. Lack of support also causes discouragement. Okay. It leads to isolation and loneliness. So get around a group of people that understand how you feel. And sometimes we have these cliques and these circles. We have these family members that oh, that's blood and all this stuff we say, and they cannot support us. But we keep them around and they keep being negative and we keep feeling worse and we keep feeling down about it, right? You need to get a group of people who understand what you feel. Stop talking to the same people that continue to make you feel worse, okay? Sometimes we try so hard to make the wrong people understand when the right people are waiting for you to reach out, okay? If they don't get it, they don't get it. And if you can't make them get it, you're going to get frustrated, right? And then you have to deal with anger and bitterness and envy. And then when you get right around them, you smile in their face and you have to be fake and you're hurting on the inside and you bleeding on your kids and all of this stuff. Get around a group of people that understand how you feel. Okay. We want to keep these cliques and these circles that are not benefiting us. And they can't benefit from us because we're not the healed version of ourselves, right? We're not whole. Okay. So they're not getting anything. Okay. We need support in different ways for the different areas of our life. And it's our job to map out who they are and what we need. Okay, that's our job. It's not another person's job to figure out what you need them for. Okay, can this person support me in this? If they can't, then this area goes to someone else. Okay, managing your discouragement calls for a change of access or a change in your feelings. So either you're going to change what has access to you, or you're going to change how you feel. Okay, managing your discouragement calls for a change of access or a change in your feelings. And you can begin to regulate your discouragement by remembering your past victories, right? Stop not celebrating your wins. Stop not celebrating you, okay? Not congratulating yourself or not accepting compliments ends up feeding your disappointments, okay? You want to know how to starve it? You starve it with victories. Okay. You stop giving it sad things. Okay. You starve them with victories. Every single victory, claim it. Right. When you wake up in the morning, that's a victory. You woke up. Check your hands and your feet. They work. That's a victory. Celebrate it. Optimism beats discouragement. Optimism beats discouragement. Keep that expectation. Keep the expectation. That expectation is hope, right? And faith is the substance of that expectation. You don't want to lose that expectation. Not comparing yourself to others beats discouragement. Stop the comparisons, okay? Let somebody know your thoughts and feelings so that you have another perspective before you drive yourself into frustration and bitterness, okay? God will God will deliver you from all of your troubles. Sometimes, though, the problem is we don't truly desire to release those troubles to Him, right? When God tells you the way out of this feeling or the way out of this situation is XYZ, you disagree with Him, right? You want Him to deliver you your way. You want to go this way to be delivered. He's like, no, that's not going to deliver you. I need you to go this way, right? We have these control issues for various reasons, and I'm not saying the reasons are not valid, but we try to control God and the way He saves us. But how do you tell God how to save you from you? If it's your decisions, if it's your agreements, right, that is causing the distress, if it's you not regulating or managing your thoughts and feelings, how do you tell God how to save you from you? Right? You can't. Okay? When your spirit has been broken, it's hard to not become what you feel. When your spirit has been broken, it's hard to not become what you feel. The broken pieces become bonded together by sadness and memories and losses until it's intertwined into your personality and your character. And you, in that state, cannot save yourself until you make a different decision. And that different decision is going to cause you to check your feelings, right? Which ones are true? Which ones are false? You have to check who and what has access to you, who and what you should limit in their access to you. Okay? If you don't or won't make that decision, the brokenness will not be repaired. Okay? It's an exchange. When you want healing, when you want deliverance, you got to give up the pain, right? You have to give it up in order to get the healing. You can't keep the pain and the healing. You got to choose to let one of them go. Okay? You can be discouraged about one thing, right? And it causes you to sabotage the other things that you were winning at. This is when your thoughts are misguided. Your reasoning and judgment of where the feeling or thought originates, the way you place it, it's off, right? It's based on wrong information. This is why you need people to talk to that are sound, that has a sound mind, so you can have a different perspective, right? We should get wisdom, right? But in all our getting, get an understanding. And in order to understand something, you need the correct knowledge, you need the correct information. Okay, so if your feelings is based on lies, if your thoughts are based on lies, let it go. Or write a novel, or write a movie script, or a play and make some money off of that fiction, but don't keep it. Okay, regulating those feelings and thoughts will keep you at peace mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, right? Even financially, because we make financial decisions because we're frustrated, right? So your finances are all over the place. Okay, so when you start regulating your thoughts and feelings, you'll have some peace in your bank account. Okay, this involves acknowledging that the thought or feeling is there. So we can't ignore what we think and feel. We acknowledge that it's there. We take control and decide whether we want it there or not, and then make the necessary adjustments. Am I going to allow this thought to continue to have access in my mind? Okay, have I verified if it's true or not? Okay, before I keep going with it. Okay, and it's easier said than done. Okay, to do it takes practice, taking every thought captive, guarding your heart and mind. Y'all know where I'm going with this, right? These are scriptures we say but hardly ever want to do. If we are guarding our heart and mind, that means we are controlling our feelings and our thoughts. Okay, we have to stop letting our thoughts and our feelings control us, because your thinking, as we know, is a process that continues unless you direct it. If you don't direct it, it will keep going, and it will keep going, and it will keep going, right? Until you hugging yourself in a padded room. You have to control your thoughts and your feelings and not let them control you. Okay, discouragement is a choice that only you can control. Discouragement is a choice that only you can control. Find something within you, around you, or find someone who inspires you, right? We really need to be inspiring ourselves, right? Through the word of God, through prayer, through asking God, what is my purpose? What am I here for? Right? That encouragement will give you the fire you need to increase your confidence and your hope. Okay, but it's your choice to choose that or choose the hopelessness. Okay, feeling empty or feeling numb, these are illusions. Okay, you're not empty, you're full of negative thoughts and feelings, right? But a lot of times you feel empty, but all those feelings are just suppressed until somebody says something positive. Then all the negative stuff spills out, right? So I thought you were empty. So where's all this negative stuff coming from? That means you're full of negative things. You're not empty, right? So if you get rid of the negative things and stuff it with some positive things, the negative things have no room to be there. Okay, so you can recover from sickness of the mind, sickness of your will, sickness in your emotions. Okay, you can recover from your disappointments and your discouragement. You are not going to die discouraged. I am declaring that over you today. You are going to live, you're going to be encouraged, you are going to manage your thoughts and feelings. They will no longer go unmanaged. So that concludes our session for today. I want to end with our statement. I am in recovery. I have discovered who God has created me to be. I have processed the traumas, the disappointments, and the failures. I have learned how to manage my thoughts and feelings. I have grown in my emotional intelligence. I am now processing my future, my victories, my peace, and my joy. So that concludes this session. All of the previous sessions, I mentioned a lot of the things that we've talked about previously. You can go on YouTube on Replenish 3125 and catch up on the other sessions that we've had thus far. The first two volumes that we had was Discovery, right? We were discovering the hidden things, discovering the triggers, discovering all of the things about us that cause us to have these deficiencies, cause us to feel like we needed to be accepted by the wrong people. All of these things we discovered in the first two volumes. This volume, we're in recovery. Okay, so we are processing all of the things. So I want you all to be encouraged, no longer discouraged. Even when you think about physical healing, right? Your body, if you've had like issues in your back or something, your body get used to the shape or the form. The same way with your mind, your thoughts get used to the same train that they've been on. So you have to know when you're out of that season and when you're walking in your healing. I always say practice it. Like go in the mirror and practice who you are now. Like, you know what I mean? You have to get all of that stuff out of your system, and you have to be around people who recognize that you're doing this, so they will call you on it. Like, no, that's how you used to speak, or no, that's what you used to do, but we don't do that anymore. And so it's very important to get support from people that's going to remind you, right, of who you are and where you are. Be mindful of the seasons that you are in. Definitely check out the volumes before, because it'll help you get to the point to where we are in recovery. And this is a process, right? It's a process. So you take one step at a time. You don't want to pour something good into on top of a bunch of bad things, right? So we had to learn how to get rid of all of the things that we were taught, that maybe it was self-taught. It was just negative coping mechanisms. We had to do what we had to do to survive. um and it wasn't healthy, right? We didn't know it wasn't healthy until we knew. But now that we know what we can do about it. Remember, feelings are temporary, they're not permanent, right? Don't get to the place, and we've all been there, right? We've all been in a place where we feel like, I'm never getting over this. Everybody have been there, but guess what? You got over it because you're looking at my face. So feelings are temporary. Okay. What you want to think about next. Okay, what am I going to be thinking, or what am I going to be doing when this feeling is over, when this part is over? Okay, so you all be blessed. I will see you all next Friday at 3 o'clock.